So we're right at the point for you where I was back in 1975 with Altair, the first personal computer. The smartphone is your amazing moment right now. So what's that going to do for the rest of your career? Things are getting smaller, they're getting lighter, they're getting faster, which means they can do more, and they're getting more connected. The other thing that's going on right now, we're building out our wireless infrastructure. I've grown up in an age of wires. We connect computers to walls with wires. Now everything's going wireless. We still need a lot of wires to make things work, but we're becoming much more portable. We can carry things with us. How many of you know what that is? Picture up there. Do any of your parents have those? So we're starting to move things like books. You all probably still have book bags full of books like this, physical books. We're able to take that, turn it into an electronic document. Because we are connected, I can beam that document off the internet onto a Kindle reader in this case. Anybody want to guess how many books that will handle? Yes?
Over like
3,000. Any other guesses?
Over 2,000?
Over 2,000. Yes. How many? How many? About 1 million? You may see 1 million books on this in your lifetime. Right now, what the Amazon is saying is about 1,500 books, 1,500 books will fit on this device. What this does, I can choose a book, go down here, press the little enter button here, and then hit next. And every time I press next, it takes me to the next page. I don't know if this computer's still on or not. Let me see if I can log this one on here. Wake this one up. The technology is also changing with the phone. Let me open up. This is an application that's connected to the internet called Kindle for the PC. So you don't necessarily have to have a device like this, a separate e-reader. This is a device that I just loaded on a regular Windows computer, and then it's got a touch screen on it, so I can do the same thing, just turn the pages. The nice thing about taking things electronic is I can zoom in. If my eyes aren't very good, I can make that text much larger, or if my eyes are good, I can pinch and zoom it back in, and then just page in, page out to all the different things out there. So that's one thing, taking books electronic, which is huge, because once we put that on the internet, it can be shared with the world, literally. The next thing is, let's see, lost my clicker here. Any of you use this service? All right, maybe mom and dad have a subscription to Netflix. Back in my day, and your parents may still do this, do you guys still have the DVDs coming to your house and you mail them in, mail them out? Is anybody using their TV and their internet to download? Okay. So that's another example of where we're taking something that used to be physical, in this case a DVD going through the mail. You can log into an account, and as long as you pay for the information, it's downloaded to you, and you can stream and watch it on your computer or on your TV in this case. So that's another example. You've all heard of a service called YouTube. YouTube allows you to upload material to it, and I ran across a statistic the other day. For every minute of the day, 35 hours of video is being uploaded, being put onto YouTube. That's just amazing how much material. Just stop and think about that. For every single minute of the day, people all over the earth are uploading 35 hours worth of video content. Now, some of that may be educational, some of that may be personal, but that content is being uploaded and shared with others. Which brings us to an important point. Because we are putting this thing out on the internet, and the internet is public, we need to be careful and safe with what we do on the internet. And just to, before I started doing this talk, I went back and looked at some statistics on my Tech Talk for Teachers. Whenever you put things on the web, you can track it with the number of visitors that come to your site. And I just looked at Illinois. So for the last couple of years, every one of those dots on the state of Illinois represents a listener that has listened to Tech Talk for Teachers. And I expected that. I teach here in Illinois at Eastern Illinois University, so I have a lot of contact with Illinois teachers. When I started this, I did not expect this. There's India on the other side of the world, on the other side of Earth. And what's even more amazing is there's 118 other countries similar to India that have visited Tech Talk for Teachers and at least listened to an episode. So when you put that information on the internet, whether it be a podcast or a blog posting or a Facebook posting, that information's out there for everybody to see. So be careful. And I always tell my students to use the grandma rule, which is I don't want to put anything on the internet that I wouldn't want my grandmother seeing, because it's possible that somebody could see it. This was the big Christmas hit. Anybody have one of these? Anybody have friends that you got to go over and play with? Some of these different things. This is another amazing moment for you guys. Up to this point, we've had keyboards and mice. We use the mouse to control the computer. Now then, we're using our entire body. Our entire body becomes the controller. For those of you that haven't played it, this is a racing game, isn't it? The racing cars there. So they're holding their arms out. What are they doing? Pretending like they're steering their cars like this, and there's a device on the TV that's reading all of their movements. So that's a new way to interact with a computer. And it's really fun to play all of these games, but let me see if I can jump out here. See if I've got another station open. Lost my mouse here. There are just like Bill Gates started programming that Altair computer, people have to program these computers. And one of the things that they're doing, people are figuring out how to use that motion interface to turn it into a controller. Anybody play Mario games? Here's a guy playing Mario using his body, his entire body. I'll just play about a minute of this. It's using the Kinect system. This is a mirror showing him right here. It's got to get him turning the other way. So you can see him running here. So there's his little character. He needs to jump again to jump over that. Okay, so that gets you just some examples of what you can do with Mario using your entire body. So, not only can you do that, but I think there's going to be a couple sessions on robotics. This opens up an entire new avenue of programming for robots and things, because you can suddenly start programming. When I raise my hand, have that robot arm move their hand. Whenever I grip, have that robot grip. So we're controlling things with a completely different interface than we've been able to do, which is just amazing. Now, you also live in a generation where you're able to make things with computers. Back when I was about your age, these things were just starting to be programmed and invented. One of the things that I like to do is create, like my Tech Talk for Teachers podcast. I can't just use any song that I buy off the internet, because it's illegal for me to use that because of something called copyright. So I create my own music. So let me jump over here, see if I can get this computer on. Wake this one up. Anybody in the band play musical instruments? I'm going to have my computer be my instrument. Whoops. 1, 5, 6, 9, 1. Okay, I've got a keyboard. You've probably seen these. Some of you may have these. This is a keyboard I'm going to turn on. And when I turn it on, it's going to connect to my computer through this cable. It's a USB cable. So I'm going to turn that on. Then I'm going to open up my musical software. In this case, it's a program called Mixcraft. So I essentially have like a whole orchestra that I can use my computer to play.